So, raise your hand if yourself or one of your parents are from a different country. Okay. It looks like the majority of you guys fall into that same boat. So we all have something in common. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 different lessons that my father gave me as I was transitioning from Dhaka, Bangladesh to the United States of America. The story begins 20 years ago. It was dark, it was raining, and I was hiding behind the curtains. See, I was playing hide and seek, and I was very, very close to winning. I was the last person that the seeker could not find. And he was about to say a word to say, I give up. So I could taste victory. And as I'm about to win, all of a sudden I hear, Arman? It was my mom. So I have 2 options right now. Either ignore my mom, get in a lot of trouble, but win hide and seek, or be a good son, respond to my mom, and lose hide and seek. You know, being the good son that I am, I chose option 2. And I just didn't want to get in trouble. So I go to the room, and I see my brothers already sitting down, and my mom and my dad are there. They have their serious face on. What's up? I don't think I got in trouble recently. No, what's up? How's it going? Son, and this was my dad speaking. Son, I want to tell you something. This Friday, we're going to be moving to the United States of America. You don't have to worry about going to school. Just spend the rest of this week packing up. Yeah, okay. What did you really call me in here for? I lost hide and seek because of this. I'm serious, son. We're actually going to be moving. At this point, me and my brother, we were not happy. We're like, what do you mean we're moving? I don't want to move. Neither one of us wanted to move. And my dad said, son, I'm going to tell you something that my dad told me when I was younger. Change is hard at first, bumpy in the middle, but beautiful at the end. And that is lesson number 1. You see, every single one of us in this room have already gone through some form of change, or we will go through some change throughout our lifetime. Do not fight it. It's going to be hard in the beginning, but if you stick it through, know that it will help you grow. Once one chapter closes, another one begins. 21 hours flew on by. The plane ride sucked. There was absolutely nothing to do. I just read my Archie and Jughead comic books. And once I landed, it was a brand new world. I went all the way from Dhaka, all the way to Miami, Florida. And this was big. This was different. I land in the US, and the first thing I do is I observe. Okay, so this is it, huh? The kids in my village, we used to talk about this. It was all of our dreams to one day go from Bangladesh and settle into the United States of America. This was the Bengali dream. I wasn't that impressed though. I land and I see a whole bunch of weird things. I see billboards everywhere. Who advertises on the street so much? As Anika mentioned, the light switch was off. It's opposite here. And also, this one annoyed me the most. The car had the steering wheel on the left-hand side, not the right-hand side. What's wrong with these engineers? Don't they know they got it backwards? I wasn't that impressed by the US. But anyways, we're here right now. And I spend the next 3 to 4 months getting ready. I spend the next 3 to 4 months learning English, writing, reading, getting battle tested, getting ready for kindergarten. The first day I get into kindergarten, I'm nervous. This is a brand new area, but I'm well prepared. I spent a good amount of time learning the language. But once I get into kindergarten, it hits me. I'm in a brand new spot. And the amount of English that I learned, it wasn't good enough to communicate with others. Most people couldn't understand a word that I was saying. Most people kept asking me to repeat myself, and most people, they just didn't even want to talk to me. I spent the next few days to the next few weeks to the next few months sitting in class alone, eating lunch alone, playing in the playground alone, and sitting in the bus alone. I was lonely. And one day I had enough. I went home and I told my mom and my dad, "Why'd you bring me here? I really do not belong here. I don't want to be here. I miss my friends. I miss my family. I miss my country. I just want to go home." Which brings me to my next lesson, son. In this thing that we call life, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. You see, every single one of us in this room, at one point or another, we're going to get hit on the head with a wrench. Figuratively speaking, of course, not literally, so be careful. And that wrench, it could either be us doing really poor on an exam that we thought we were going to do well in. It could be us getting our heart broken by our significant other, or it could be us getting fired from our dream job. Whatever it is, understand that pain is nothing more than energy. And that energy, you can use it to either go on a downward spiral, or you could use that energy to level up and grow. Every single chapter in your life will call for a new you, and use that energy for positivity. A few more years goes by. I'm starting to figure America out. Language, I can start speaking it, and people actually understand me. I started dressing a little bit better, and most importantly, I started making some friends. America isn't that bad. You know what? I like it, and I like it here a lot. As I'm getting transitioned to America, I still realize I have one problem from Bangladesh that's coming all the way to the US. I'm not a good exam taker. Do you guys still have the FCAT here, by the way?
FSA.
FSA, okay, well, we had the FCAT back in our time, long time ago. And once scores came in, I got a 5 on the FCAT math, which means I got the highest score. I was like, okay, I guess my failure on exams is done. I don't think I'm that bad anymore. But on the reading section, I got a 1. This crushed me. This actually devastated me because I was going to spend all of next year in intensive reading. I knew the material, but I just got so nervous in the exam that I failed. And I went home, and my dad could tell that I was really upset. My dad said, "Son, can I tell you something? I'm assuming it's a lesson, Dad." "How did you know?" "Son, failure is only failure if you don't learn from it. Use failure as a stepping stone for success." And that is lesson number 3. Those words resonated with me. The next year, I went ahead and I studied 10 times harder, and I ended up getting a level 5 in the reading section. All of us in this room, we have either failed once or we will fail down the near future. Every single time you're trying something new, you will fail. That is going to happen. But realize one thing, every master at something was once a beginner. And I promise you, that master failed their way into expertise. Do not let failure discourage you, let it motivate you. That was lesson number 3. A couple more years goes by, and now I'm in high school. I call high school the dark era. The reason why is because I started hanging out with a lot of the wrong people. Decisions that I would never make before became second nature to me. I remember one day, I had a few friends that came up to me and one said, "Hey Arman, do you want to skip class and play basketball?" I could have easily played basketball after class, but for some reason, I agreed. Once I agreed, I was playing basketball, I was schooling everyone on the court. And then out of nowhere, I see my dean pull in, and we were in trouble. He actually caught us skipping. And what proceeded to happen was, I ended up getting suspended for an entire week from class. This was big. I was in the IB program, and IB kids don't get suspended. IB kids never get in trouble. And the fact that I got suspended was big. This became the talk of the entire school, and I was devastated. I still remember when my dad picked me up from school that day, my mom was there as well, and the whole car ride was silence. You guys ever had that moment where you would prefer your parents yell at you rather than the silence? Yeah? I feel like, okay, you guys understand. And then my dad broke the silence, and he said, son, this is something that you're going to need to know now, and you will need to know this for later on in your life. If you hang out with 4 idiots, you will become the 5th one. And this is true. Whoever you hang out with, you eventually become. A famous saying goes, you are the average of your 5 best friends. And this is lesson number 4. Make sure whoever you guys are hanging out with, they uplift you. If you hang out with losers, people that skip school, people that do bad habits, you will eventually become that. But if you do the opposite, if you hang out with people that motivate you, people that teach you the right life lessons, then eventually you will grow and you will blossom. Finally, as I finally graduate from high school, I have an important decision to make. Orlando or Tampa? As you can tell, I chose Tampa. Once I come into college, it was a whole new level of freedom. I always had strict parents, and now I was free. But I was extremely focused in school. I got into the electrical engineering program, and I enjoyed that. And I also wanted to work on my social life. So I ran into this kid named Shlomo Solson, and he told me about Sigma Beta Rho. And I wanted to join the fraternity. So to join the fraternity, I still recall, they wanted us to give a 2-minute speech, just introducing ourselves. Nothing too big, right? Wrong. I hated public speaking. The concept of public speaking made my knees tremble, made my heart pound, made my palms sweat. I hated to public speak. I'd call my dad. I'm like, Dad, you see, there's this fraternity, I really like it, but I don't think I'm gonna do it, because I may have to talk in front of people. Son, it sounds like you have a fear. I think you're right, Dad. I do have a fear. Well, you know what fear is, right? Yeah, it's when you're scared of something, isn't it? No, fear is an acronym. F-E-A-R. What? Yeah, F-E-A-R. It stands for 2 different things, and you could choose which one you want to equal. It could either be forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Which option do you want to choose? The second option sounded way better to me. I eventually joined Suncoast Toastmasters, worked on my speech, and I realized talking in front of people was never as bad as you thought it was. The fear started right here, and the fear ended right here. All of us, we're humans. We feel angry, we feel sadness, we feel nervousness, and we feel fear. But the only time you should regret fear is if you let it overcome you, if you let it detract you from living your true life. Because understand that fear is nothing more than a figment of your imagination. Once you overcome the fear, you will feel nothing short of happiness. All of you guys maybe have started off this course with fear about public speaking. Do you guys still feel that same fear? No, right? It's all about the mentality. And those are the 5 lessons. Those are the 5 lessons that helped me transition from becoming a Bengali to a Bengali American. You guys all may have 5 different lessons. You guys may have 10 different lessons, 15, 50. But whatever your lessons are, make sure you stay true to them. Because one thing that I've always been told is if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And you guys have all been given the opportunity to come from a brand new country to the United States of America, where dreams are always possible. Make sure you do not do one thing. Make sure in this thing that we call life, you don't just exist, but rather find something that you are passionate about. Move forward, go up, and conquer.